What is an escape clause? Hey everybody, Ryan Hodge, broker owner here at the realty firm. Sandra and I have been selling real estate for nearly 20 years inside the London and St. Thomas real estate market. We have helped many people buy, sell, invest, and build inside of our marketplaces. And we know that right now the market is interesting, to say the least. I've just recently posted the April market report sharing everything that happened in March compared to last year and the month over month transactions, sales, days on the market, all of those things. Be sure to check out that video too. But what we know right now, compared to the height of the busy market in 2020, 2021, and 2022, we're seeing a lot more people that are going conditional upon the sale of their own property. And this is a condition that has been around for many years, if not forever. But what it means is that somebody is purchasing a property, and as part of the conditions, not just the financing or a home inspection or an insurance condition, which are the typical three that are usually satisfied between 5 to 7 business days on average, but a condition upon sale is much more complex. And I thought I'd break it down a little bit for you, because we know that based on uncertainty in the market, we're going to see the condition upon sale come into fruition much more often than in the past few years anyways. So when somebody puts an offer condition upon sale, number one, they're going to have a timeline that they are able to sell their property. One of the things that I want to give some advice on, whether you're a real estate agent that follows along with us, or whether you are somebody that is considering putting your house on the market and you're curious about this condition, if you're considering accepting that condition, you must ensure that the backup property, the property that needs to sell in order for somebody to buy yours, is ready to go to market. Because when a condition like this is structured, it's typically going to be structured that somebody has a certain amount of time to sell the property. Now, inside of the condition, there's also going to be what's called an escape clause, okay? And an escape clause says that your property still gets offered up for sale during the time that the first offer and the first buyer is trying to sell their backup property. Now, during that time period, what's going to happen is your property is available for sale. Somebody else can come in and make another offer. So let's say in that scenario that you have somebody that makes offer number 2 that you find acceptable. You then, as a seller, and your listing agent is going to help you with this, is going to give notice for the original offer to go firm. It's what we call it in real estate, going firm, which means they're going to remove all of their conditions, including the sale of that property. That is the proper way a listing agent should do it. But something to be very cautious of is when a buyer agent submits that the only condition to be removed is the sale of that property, because you want all conditions removed so that even though that property hasn't sold, it's not still hinging on a financing condition or a home inspection. You want to make sure that that offer is structured so that if you decide to accept a second offer, if that first buyer does not firm up and remove all conditions, that you are 100% guaranteed to be able to work with the second offer and move forward in a successful manner with them. A lot of people don't understand the mechanics of that condition, but I think it's really important to understand how the escape clause is supposed to work, and of course how it needs to work for you, the seller. The other thing that I want you to pay attention to in terms of conditional upon sale is days on the market. Okay, don't give somebody 90 or 120 days to sell the property, in my opinion. Our average list to sale time in London and St. Thomas over the years has been in and around 21 days. It's not an exact number, but it's very close. In some markets, we were 10 days or less. Some markets were closer to 30 days, but in 21 days, you should have a pretty good idea of whether that backup offer is going to sell. And certainly if you're on the market and listed, you should know where your house stands within 21 days as well. So, understanding the mechanics of the conditional upon sale and how that works if you are going to entertain that condition, I think is really important. We're going to see a lot more of that if the market stays the way that it is. It's more of a buyer's market. Buyers have options. Buyers also want to make sure that they're going to be financially sound in terms of selling their property. And what you have to remember too is that in all of this, just because somebody removes their conditions and they feel confident, homes still need to appraise in these markets as well. And so making sure that, the entire structure of the deal and both buyers and sellers understand how appraised values work is also going to be incredibly important as well. Another thing to consider inside of this strategy is, as a listing agent, or if you've hired a listing agent, are they looking at the backup property and do they have the knowledge and the data and the research to indicate that there's a high probability that that backup property will sell? Just because you get an offer, and just because, even if it's on a short timeline, that the backup property is going up for sale doesn't actually mean that it's going to sell. So having somebody that's going to give you deep market research and a really strong perspective on the probability of that selling, how long it should take, whether that property is being priced aggressively, because they should be asking the buyer's agent what that home is going to go onto the market for, by when, and maybe even getting more information from the buyer's agent on what it really looks like. Are they able to do a walkthrough? Are they able to do an evaluation themselves so that they can bring it back to their clients and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this property is supposed to go up for sale for $599,000. It looks to be fair market value and it should sell within 30 days according to all of the market data we have available to us. Or are they saying this property is going up for sale for $699,900? Most of the area sales have been selling in and around $550,000. That's a long ways off, and the probability of it selling is probably not very great. It may not be a condition that you want to entertain. These are the types of conversations that you and your real estate agent should be having, especially in a market like London and St. Thomas. Our real estate market has always been fairly conservative, and you want to get this data, you want to have this insight, you want to understand where are things moving, what direction are they going in, and are you getting enough good guidance and consultation from a trusted professional to allow you to make a good and informed decision. Sandra and I just negotiated a property conditional upon sale recently where all of the terms lined up very well. The time to sell, the backup property, it looked good, but the buyer agent positioned it that it would be listed at a slightly higher price than we thought was probable as far as going to sell in a reasonable amount of time. So what we did was we structured a condition where if the backup property had not sold within 30 days, the buyer actually agreed to reduce the price by a certain amount, which would bring it into fair market value range in a 30-day time period. If they hadn't sold, they had to move to that number as part of the deal. What it did was it allowed both buyer and seller to feel confident in terms of getting the home on the market, the buyer having an opportunity to test a slightly higher price, but the seller knowing that if it hadn't sold within 30 days, that there was going to be a significant adjustment which should bring it into market value. Now, at the same time, they're able to keep the house up for sale. They are able to accept an offer if somebody comes in and offers on it as well. So there's some really good working mechanics for our client in the entire matter. But these are the things that a trusted professional with experience and deep market research and strategy, negotiation strategy and experience has that can support you. I thought I'd share a little bit about the condition upon sale dynamic, strategies, mechanics, and tactics in and around it. And I hope that you found that insightful and useful today. Again, our purpose here in London, Ontario is to support anybody that's thinking about buying, selling, investing, or building in terms of new construction. And we're here whether you're looking to do that now, 6 months from now, or 6 years from now. If you have any questions at any time, be sure to reach out. You can always reach me at 519-859-5408 or visit us online at www.ryanandsandra.ca. We look forward to supporting you further. And if you enjoy this content, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. We look forward to seeing you real soon.